PGA European Tour is brought to you by Volvo.
Hello and welcome to the Oxfordshire, the new home for the 26th staging of the Benson and Hedges International Open, only its third venue in those 26 years. Just over 7,000 yards, par 72, three-year-old course designed by Rhys Jones. And it's been a tough test for the best players in the world. Here's Nick Faldo. This was day one, a biting wind from the northeast, helping on the 13th hole. A 7-iron for Nick. And in the hole for his 7th hole in one, the first 6, all coming with 6 irons, and that with a 7-iron. And Faldo would birdie the last 2 holes for a 2-under par 70. On a day when Miguel Angel Jimenez would set the pace with a 68. So Faldo back in Great Britain for the first time this year, and his presence attracting large crowds despite the inclement weather conditions. Then Colin Montgomery took over, a 72 and then a 68 with 4 birdies, no bogeys, and a great finish to round 3 with 5 birdies in the last 7 holes, including a hat-trick at 16, 17 and 18. Not a backward glance. Home in 31, a 67, and Montgomery the clear leader at 9 under and the clear favourite today. The wind at this stage was still from the northeast, and you can see a 3-shot lead over Ian Woosnam, the current #1 in the Volvo rankings. Wayne Riley, Stephen Ames, Derek Cooper and John Robson all going well. Andrew Coulthard, who started with a 77, producing 2 good rounds. Well, the story today is that we have a tournament on again. The wind is still there. It's stronger than it has been all week, and it switched direction from the southeast, and it's presented new problems for all the players, and no one's really coping that well. Colin Montgomery was sailing along 9 under, no problems at all, just like Damon Hill really, and then bogeyed 8 and double bogeyed 9, and he's right back in the pack because he's just bogeyed 10 as well. And you can see all the players having problems. And let's get out on the course, because we now have a fascinating situation. This man, Andrew Coulthard, who's at the 11th hole, the par 5, which is downwind, is making a little bit of a charge, still looking for his first win on the European Tour. You never know, this afternoon may provide it. Monty started with a bogey, the first, and then birdied 2 and 4, dropped a shot at 6. As I say, he's just dropped 4 shots in 3 holes, and maybe at the moment contemplating jumping off the bridge. He's pretty unhappy with conditions. I have to say it is very windy, gusting up to sort of above 30 miles an hour, and it's making it very tough for the players. It must be on the verge of almost being unplayable. Horror stories, Nick Faldo, he was going along well, 2 early birdies, the first and the 4th, but he dropped a shot at 5 and 6, and then at the 8th, triple bogey 7 into the water with his second, and then a double bogey 6 at 9, and Faldo's chance appears to have gone. John Robson was going along very well, 3 birdies in the first 5 holes, but then double bogey at 8, bogey at 9, but he's still in with a chance. Wayne Riley, double bogey at 9, has rather hampered his chances. Stephen Ames going along reasonably well. Ian Woosnam, 6 bogeys, no birdies on the front 9, out in 42. And here's Ross Drummond, who started at 4 under, so only 1 over today. And let's just give you one stat. Sometimes they can deceive, but I don't think so on this occasion. First day, average score was around about 75.5, and it came down as the players got used to the conditions a little on the second to 74.5. The cut made at 4 over on Friday night, and yesterday the scoring average 72.25, the best so far. You see Ross Drummond with a birdie at 10, his first of the day, 2 bogeys going out. But just 20 minutes ago, the latest scoring average had rocketed up to 79.96, so more or less 8 shots harder than yesterday, or 8 shots more. And that purely down to the conditions. You can see just how hard it's blowing now. It's different conditions as well, different direction for the wind. I'll give you an example, the 6th hole, 340 yards, normally downwind with the prevailing wind that comes in from the west, and I've played it many times, and it's an iron, a 3-wood and a sand iron, and a lot of the players not been getting up in 2. Shows you how difficult it is. Miguel Angel Jimenez, who was the leader at the halfway stage, he also found big problems at the 8th, double bogey 6 there. So I think sit back and enjoy the next hour or so, and perhaps just be glad that it's these top stars are out there and not us. Pierre Forky, 3 over today. And with Bernhard Langer. Oh, I could have done with the wind just blowing there. Forky probably glad to be here for the weekend despite the conditions. He's missed the last 5 cuts, well down the Volvo rankings, and looking for a good check this week. You can see he started so well, 3 early birdies, and then it's all gone horribly wrong. 4 bogeys in a row, double bogey at 11. The 12th hole, which is a pretty tough hole, will actually play a little easier today. The wind, if anything, helping. An easy job being a cameraman out there as well. Hey, hallelujah, he's got one. Afternoon, I'm Steve Beddoe, by the way, and pretty chuffed to be in the commentary box. I mean, I'll get his card right at 7 at 11. Well, that helps. A birdie at 12, but still 4 over for the day. And really, these players won't have encountered conditions like this too often. The one tournament stopped for win, that was in Catalonia when Paul Lawrie won. But really, it's the sort of day, I think if you and I were playing, we'd say, well, if the bar's still open, we go and watch the television, have some tea and scones. A rough day to be a professional golfer. And those who slipped back yesterday with 74. Now here's John Robson, been going along pretty well, all things considered. He is at the 11th. -5 and level par for today. I tell you, that is a good score. Of course, he was 3 under. Missed the first 6 cuts of the season, way down in the money list. Biggest check ever was Peñalonga in the Portuguese Open last year. Share of 4th place, his best performance. And he really has a chance to turn his golfing fortunes around this afternoon. Kept very cheerful yesterday, and he's kept a smile more or less on his face today. There you can see the start, great start, 3 threes and a 2 at the 5th. He was a little unlucky at the 8th. The problem is it's a shortish hole, and you're second across water to a peninsula green, and the wind just got hold of the ball and took it through the back. Did the same for Nick Faldo, and then back to the drop zone and 3 putts. Ross Drummond, coming from Prestwick, will at least have some experience, or more than most, of perhaps playing in windy conditions up there on the Ayrshire coast. Has been known to blow, but the shot goes for Ross. -2, and he again a player who's only won £3,000 or £4,000 so far this year. It's a big day for Ross as well, isn't it? If he could just hold on to that score. You know, he's been on the tour since 1978 and never been higher than a share of 4th place, and never lost his card though. Robson, who graduated from the Challenge Tour with a couple of wins in '94. Good finishing school for pros, and there is a feeling that maybe more cards should be available to those who play week in, week out on the Challenge Tour, rather than those who take the gamble of 1 week at the qualifying school. Having said that, if you get your card on the Challenge Tour, you get into tournaments before those who have the school cards. It's coming to the time of season, big money tournaments, and very difficult for those graduates, category 12, to get into the tournament. Certainly those who have the lower cards. Only watch and envy. They may not be so envious today. Well, this is for a birdie, but if you offer John Robson pars all the way in from now, delighted to accept. Ironic to think that the move from Fulford in Yorkshire But the move in the date of the calendar down to St. Million was because they thought there was a better chance of better conditions in the West Country. Didn't really work, and the move up to the Oxfordshire, same motive, and sadly hasn't worked. It's a shame. It's a fine venue. Biggest check 8, £12,000. Just got to keep calm and just keep playing one shot at a time, one hole at a time. Derek Cooper only one over today, and again, that's more than respectable. Cooper, winner of the Madrid Open way back in 1988, his only success. 5 top 10 finishes in a consistent year last year, but hit by a couple of injuries. He hasn't made the best of starts to 96. Back with a conventional putter. A spell where he was one of the long handle, broom handle brigade. Nicely done. And pace of play is pretty slow. As I said, we were a bit late joining you because of the overrun of the Grand Prix, but play was scheduled to finish on our broadcast at around 7 o'clock. And obviously that's going to go overrun because the players just can't skip round the course, really. They've got to take the time, and you'll see, I'm sure, time and time again, players just stepping away from putts because once they've addressed the ball, if it moves, it's going to be a penalty. You see Monty has bogeyed 10 as well, and Robson is the joint leader. Andrew Coulthard also going well, looking pretty strong. And there's the view at the 13th. It was a 7-iron when the wind was helping a while ago, a day or two ago. It's a club or two more now. So Ross Drummond at 13. Drummond 2 under. Only now 3 shots off the lead. And into one of the many bunkers that guards this hole, and the ball plugging slightly. That's it's been one of the complaints. There's been a little bit too much sand in the bunkers. Here's Coulthard into the 12. They were using fairway woods to get up earlier in the week, but Coulthard feels he can get there with an iron, almost. Just, you can see, just about 3 or 4 yards short. And there's Drummond walking around this 13th hole. 39-year-old, born in Paisley, living in Prestwick. They'd to call him a journeyman of the tour, year in, year out. And there he is, and normally manages a couple of decent finishes most seasons. There's just enough to stay on the tour. I don't think he knows any other kind of life now. And here's Wayne Riley at the 11th. Wind off the right, water all down the right though. They drive across the edge of the lake. And Riley anxious to see where that's going. There's a big bunker on the left-hand side. There's water on the right. This could be very good. 2 beautiful shots. And Riley won't give up. He, of course, saw off Colin Montgomery and Nick Faldo to win the Scottish Open at Carnoustie last year. Carnoustie, that famous links exposed to wind. It was not as rough as it is here this week. As if Coulthard's opting to putt. Downwind, he's playing with Nick Faldo. Faldo well wrapped up. We'll give him the 4. Still seeking his first win, came so close in Singapore. Lost the playoff to Ian Woosnam in the Johnny Walker Classic. This is a fearsome shot. Difficult to control this ball. He can just flop the club down hard behind the ball and pop it out. And these professionals, they want to get close, and of course if he were to overdo it, there's water behind, just drop it down, or couldn't do much else really. All you can hope is that you get the ball out. Now Faldo, you see, gone 6 over today. He'll be here next week for the Volvo PGA down at Wentworth, all 4 days on Eurosport, and likewise all 4 days of the Deutsche Bank in Hamburg the following week. Don't forget, the PGA starts on Friday. It's a bank holiday weekend in the UK, so the tournament runs through from Friday to Monday. You see, Nick, the charge, we thought it was going to come early birdies, then a couple of bogeys at 5 and 6, and real disaster at 8 and 9. Oh.
No, it's going to happen. So you just do it. Just do it. No, it's going to happen.
I'm struggling to keep concentration. Now here's Colin Montgomery. It's his tee shot at 11 across the lake, and now the wind gets it. Well, I wonder if that's gone in the water. You just heard, oh no. I wonder. I think it's unlikely. Tee only used by the professionals. Frankly, they're welcome to it on a day like this. He may be reloading. Playing 3 off the tee, well that's okay. Now if he's in the water, all sorts of problems for Montgomery, and though he's won 10 times in Europe, he's only won once in Great Britain. 2 years ago, just up the road, the Forest of Arden in the English Open. And he's almost a little jinx, though. Well, pressure could be on John Robson now, or could it be Andrew Coulthard coming through for his first win? It really is still wide open. It's live on Eurosport. It's the final round of the B&H International Open. More drama after these words. Oxfordshire, final round of the B&H International Open. Andrew Coulthard, 1 shot off the pace. That's his tee shot at 13. Looks as if he's just missed the green on the right-hand side. Tie at the top between John Robson, who's close in 2 at 12, and Colin Montgomery, who's in trouble at 11. On the 11th green, Stephen Ames. Again, just 1 shot off the pace. Canadian-based. Former Nike Tour player, or Hogan Tour player, born in Trinidad and Tobago there. So the situation at the top, Ames back with a birdie at 11. So it's a 3-way tie at the top now. Wayne Riley, one of 3 players just a shot behind. And Paul Orry of Scotland, who won in the wind in Catalonia. Close to home. And this tournament really is going to go all the way, because 17 and 18 are going to be right into the teeth of the gale. And 2 pars there will be a good score as well. There's Derek Cooper. That's his 3rd shot at the 12th. Hoping for slightly calmer conditions the next 2 days. The Anderson Consulting European Finals taking place here at the Oxfordshire. Start around about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for 2 balls, including Colin Montgomery against Costantino Rocca. And the semi-finals and final on Tuesday. Got a day or so off. You're more than welcome. It costs you £10 to get in for the Anderson. Got good crowds here at the Oxfordshire for the B&H, and well, they're not seeing spectacular golf, but they will know better than anybody else really, because they're there, just how tough this is. But this is for the lead for John Robson for a birdie. It will be for the lead by 1, and pars will do, but at the same time, if you get a birdie opportunity, if you can take it. Just from Essex, which is about a couple of hours drive around the M25, around the top of London, and up the A12, and he will have a few supporters will have come around to make themselves known in the gallery, just to give a little bit of support for John Robson on this, the most important day of his golfing life. Now Laurie at the 17. 1 under, if he could post a score of maybe 2 under in the clubhouse, who knows? If we were to have a playoff, holes 10 and 18 would be involved. There's a situation at the moment though with Robson, Ames and Montgomery. We still wait for news of just what happened to Montgomery's ball off the 11th tee. I think it was probably in the water. It looked to be playing 3 off the tee. Coulthard, having just missed the 13th green, but quite a good chance to chip and putt. Cooper should make his par at 12. Wayne Riley also in there as well. He won't be afraid to win. He's not interested in just finishing 4th or 5th and picking up a good check. He wants to win now. There's Coulthard, just wondering if his ball was plugged perhaps. Nick Fowler coming across to have a little look. Look, plug it. Well, I wonder, maybe casual water. So before we began this broadcast, I was just watching the pictures coming in, that the sprinklers were on the greens. Whether that was an attempt to dampen down the greens that could to stop the ball running away in the wind, in which case it would be impossible to play. And maybe in the wind, a lot of the water has landed in that spot, and it's casual water, so a free drop. Just the 1 club length, so that confirms it's a free drop. If it was 2, that would be a penalty drop. No reason for taking that, but using the rules to his advantage, that's a better lie than he had. See, the second tee peg was the nearest point of relief, and then within 1 club length. There's Colin Montgomery with the mitts on.
Here you go.
Feeling the cold a lot more than they would have done this time last year. There's more or less 3 stone less of him. Here's his 3rd or 5th shot. Still wait to find out to the 11th. Judging from his manner, I rather suspect it's his 5th. It's been swinging around a little now. It's still, if it's gone a little bit more easterly than southerly. All 4 days of this tournament, not one have we had the prevailing wind, which is normally from the west. Interesting again, Coulthard is going to go with the putter, the Texas wedge from this range. Just wants to keep it, I guess, as much under the wind as he can. Not sure if it's wise. Obviously the wrong option, but it's easy to call it from here. Now Laurie, it's just 17. In again at the back, and kind of gone in. I think that was for birdie. Fowler yesterday hit his 7-iron into the water and back to the drop zone, hold a very good putt, just a little shorter than this to limit the damage to a bogey 4. played here with his manager John Simpson in June. It was so cold and windy they walked in after 11 holes. He's probably feeling he wish he could do the same, but has to grind it out. Yeah, a long time, almost 3.5 hours already. The caption will give us a clue as to what shot this is. Not sure anyone's bogey putt for a 6. So 3 off the tee, 4 short, chip 5. Confirmation really then that the ball into the water, and he's just getting a little bit ticked off with it really. Maybe calling for referee saying this is impossible. Now the 12th, a lot shorter today, wind helping. That's a great shot from Riley. It'll be very, very close. Rounds of 73, 71 and a 67. 67 still the low for the week, and nobody's going to shoot 67 today. So I think 4 players will be sharing the cash from Johnny Walker, the 3,000. Montgomery, Ames, Riley and Coulthard. That might cheer him up a little bit. But out of the lead, when was the last time Conor Montgomery had a run of 5 drop shots in 4 holes? May have been at St. Melian in 1992 in this tournament, when after being the halfway leader he had an 85 in the 3rd round on a day that was probably even harder than this one. Coulthard, good save, simple 2-putt. To Monty's credit, he came back at St. Melian with a 69 on the final round. That's Stephen Ames into 12. And 2 fine shots. Well, they'll be looking at the leaderboard and saying, probably were thinking an hour or so ago, well, Monty's got this, we're playing for second, and now it's everything to play for. Robson, 13. Wind off the left, start it on the left-hand side, let it drift back in if you can. Super shot, brave shot. He would have started that over the water. It's a little bit long. Good line though. On tape, this is the tee shot of Derek Cooper. Ames for his birdie at 12. Won a couple of years ago in Lyon, the Open V33. That's his only win so far. Oh, well done. It's been an in and out year so far. Just the one top 10 finish in Morocco, but well, Stephen Ames into the lead. Norman DeBell, who files copy for the Trinidad and Tobago Times. Well, he may get the front page if this continues. Oh, leads by 1 from Robson, and a real challenge now for Montgomery. For birdie for Riley as well. For a share of second. Oh, well done as well. Just kept the head still, trusted the putting stroke. Trying to forget about the wind. At least it was straight into the wind. And what a good comeback after that double bogey at the 9th. Very close to the clubhouse. Tempted to walk in. He's battling it out. Gritty character. as far as he used to be. Mild colonial boy, he calls himself these days. Ross Drummond. Oh. So close at 14. Just the one birdie at the 10th so far. These players playing for big money now. It's 116,660 pounds for first, but 77,770 for second, and even fifth place just under 30,000 pounds. The top 5 players would be a long way towards securing John Robson's card for next year. Two things to think about. Three. One, the line. One, the pace. And 3, wind off the right. What effect will that have? And in all honesty, if he gets this within a foot, he'll be reasonably satisfied. A 2 would be a real bonus. But it is for a share of the lead, of course. You'll be pleased to know that around the lakes there are life belts. Not bad. Still smiling, that's good to see. Soon be over. Keep it then for a 2. See how he's trying to keep till he's ready and still trying to keep the putter above ground. He doesn't count as addressing the ball until the putter's actually resting behind the ball, just in case it moves. We want to see it. The rule will tell us. The groan says not quite. Needed a bit more. Up the line right, didn't hit it. Normally these would be just walk up and tap them in, but you can't take any putt of over 6 inches for granted today. Go through the full routine, left hand below right. Not a bad card in these conditions and in these circumstances. Rory needing a par for around a 72. And they're right at the back top tier. Here's Montgomery. Down the wind, needs to get a birdie, needs to get back into this tournament. Oh, I think he's going to get it. Beautiful shot. the leader. And he's playing like a man who wants to win, determined to win. Super shot from Ames. Just turned 32. Been a pro since '87. Who since that win at Carnoustie also this year's won the Portuguese Open in wet conditions, testing conditions at Araújo. And in the clubhouse, Duarte and Nelson and Sam, they'll all be watching there, seeing if their champion can win this International Open. Not trick shot time, he's just seeing which club he feels comfortable with. Not much leg movement, just punching with the arms, trying to keep it as much as he can under the wind. Selected the right club. '14th, par 4, up the hill. All those bunkers on the right have to be avoided. The left-hand side, then a dog leg from left to right. Only 363 yards, but he's flirted with those bunkers. You see, that's the wind again. Yeah. Tricky pin place, tricky to get close from where John Robson is. Cut front right. You want to be as far left of the fairway as you can to open up the angle. Oh, well done. Well, you could never write him off. It's the mark of a champion. A little bit of a smile. And maybe you're telling yourself, I'm sure, all the way down the 12th, well, things haven't been going well, but there's still a championship to be won, and I can still win it. Needs to pick up a little bit of pace as well, and he's not going to. So, Laurie, still quite a bit to do for his 72 to lead in the clubhouse. And that's the view. You can see all the tees on 13. I have a feeling today they're not the very back one. We'll be back with more action from the Oxfordshire after the break. Stephen Ames leads the B&H International Open by 1. If he makes this, he leads by 2. For a 2 at 13. Conor Montgomery back across the water, looking on from the 13th tee. Reasonably straight. Wind may affect off the right, maybe just starting on the right lip. Don't think he's given that enough. It was down the hill, but needed to be hit. You can just see to the left the marker of Wayne Riley, who should in a moment or two tap in for his 3. While you're away, Paul Lawrie 3-putted 18 for 73, which included a double bogey 6 at 9. But he's the leader in the clubhouse at level par. And here's John Robson. This is quite a tough shot at 14. Tough to get close to the pin. Oh, he's played it right over the pin. Couldn't afford to be too fancy. He was a little short. He was still in the semi. That's okay. They wanted to Robson supporters, no relation to Bobby Robson, just taking over at Barcelona, but one or two of his supporters getting a little excited as Riley taps in a hole behind for his par. They're both telling each other how fast that putt was with the wind and down the hill, that all Stephen Ames felt he could do was just touch it and send it on its way. Montgomery with the honour after that birdie. Much needed birdie as well. Third of the day. problems at 9 were when he just missed the fairway on the right-hand side, couldn't get up in 2, hit his third through the green, chip just rolled past and missed the putt back. Just to give you an idea of some of the scores, Marc Farry of France had an 80 today, and John van der Velde, who was on the leaderboard at one stage earlier in the week, an 89 today. Now at 15, and into the wind, which is off the right-hand side. There's Coulthard. Down to the right. He's a tough chip back now because he hasn't got much green to work with and wind behind. Very difficult to stop it short of the pin. Ames off with the waterproof jacket. May come back on in between shots. Leaded by 1, Montgomery bunkered a hole behind. See all those bunkers, almost a dozen, guarding the right-hand side. On the right of your pictures as we look from behind the tee. It's windy at the Oxfordshire. Really is anybody's tournament. That one's gone to the right, walked away because the wind got up, and now he's let it go into the sand. If it's plugged, he's dead. You see he's got all those bunkers to come across, and just a question of who can hang on to win now. Could be this man. Don't go too far past. As the ball of Colin Montgomery, plugged as was Ross Drummond not so long ago at 13, and well, even if you're the number 3 in the world, it's still a fearsome shot, not one you feel you can control. And he's looking across saying, well, what happens if I hit it too hard or it comes out hot? How far have I got before it's into the water? It's a mental battle now, really. It's the same for everybody. He's just got to put the negative out of his mind. I'm sure they have been damping down the greens because the ball reasonably steady and the wind's strong enough that they could start rolling around, and then play would have to be suspended. They've had some tough conditions on the European Tour this year. There's only been a couple. It hasn't been affected by the weather, and well done, John Robson. That's a good par. Well, 4 more of those. And it could be Bonanza Night in Basildon. Now, slow down. Slow down. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that was on tape. Halfway down the bank, he's playing 3 now. Oh, I don't believe it. I think he's going to say par. Well, a 4. And Alistair McLean, caddy time just to keep a low profile. Normally slips back to 4 under them. You can have a look at that bunker and have that one filled in immediately. There he is, behind Stephen Ames, the leader. It's unlikely looking leaderboard at this stage of the tournament. There's Coulthard. Now, if that's his putt for par, he's hit a very, very good chip indeed. I have to check that one out for you. Now, Woozy. He's just setting that one on its way. You can see why Stephen Ames was a little bit frightened of it, because Woozy hardly touched that and 2 or 3 feet past the hole. Seven over today. May the 19th, we're just a month away from Midsummer's Day. Much more than maybe an 8 or a 9. Again, that sort of punch shot, trying to keep it below the wind if it possibly can. Oh, beauty right over the bit. He's looking very strong, isn't he? Cooper at 15. Pin over on the right, wind from the right, difficult pin to get close to. Pretty good, would have been a great shot first 3 days. That's the percentage shot, really. Important to convince yourself that you've selected the right club and then commit yourself to the shot that you want to hit. And then it's a little bit in the lap of gods, but you have to hit with a commitment. And these are big moments for John Robson. Most important afternoon of his golfing life. Like a 5, maybe even a 6 iron. It's going left. But again, not bad. He'll be chipping back into the wind. Plenty of green to work with. Could have been worse, is the verdict. Rain in Singapore and South Africa, and in the desert in Dubai, wind in Catalonia, more rain in Madrid and in Italy. Not been a season which so far has really flowed. The 25th of the European Tour. They've had their problems with conditions, but it'll be very exciting tournaments to come. And this one in its own way is quite fascinating. Once he's starting that way up the left now, that should come back with the shape of his shot and the wind, and that's okay. Riley, he's played that bunker shot. I think he's got it out onto the green. Didn't plug after the low shots. Skipping the one skip will take them out of the landing hole. So the winner of the Portuguese Open, and say hello to everyone at Troya Golf Club on the peninsula across the bay from Setterbowl, where a couple of years ago it looked as if the course was going to rack and ruin. Now getting some tender loving care, and designed by Trent Jones Senior, father of Rhys Jones, architect of this course. It's well on its way back towards its former glories. Go on, get in. Oh. I can't remember if I told you earlier in the week, but there is a course to the north of Lisbon, Golden Eagle, which you may not have heard of. I hadn't. Designed by Rocky Rockmore, and it is fabulous. And can't pay a green fee, difficult to get on, but so if you get a chance to play it, jump on a jet and get down there. It's always nice to see new courses popping up all around the world, new challenges. It's just a shame for the Oxfordshire really that we've not had slightly kinder conditions, and we've not seen it obviously at its best. We've seen it from under 3 or 4 layers of clothing. And he was a touch tentative on the last one. Come on, he's got this one. Oh, 7 under. Ames is 2 under for the day, and this is terrific golf. 4 holes to go. Ames leading by 2. Now he has to just make himself slow down. Don't rush to the next tee. Just take your time. Try and keep the routine exactly the same, but he can't help but be aware how close he is now. It's a fairly simple 6-7 iron chip and run. Good pace. Very good. Ross Drummond. This for birdie at 16. So the Scots keeping going well. Drummond from level 2, 1 under, but it's Stephen Ames who leads by 2 from John Robson. Coulthard still in there, so too is Cooper, and you can't rule Montgomery out yet. But at the moment, it's looking very good indeed for Trinidad and Tobago's Stephen Ames. It's a rough, tough day at the Oxfordshire. Fascinating though, isn't it? More after the break. And Stephen Ames leads the B&H International Open by 2 shots, and at the start of the day you'd have got fairly long odds against that, one suspects, considering that he was 4 shots behind Colin Montgomery. Well, now at 7 under, he's 3 clear of the pre-tournament favourite. Tee shot at 15. Nothing fancy, 4 pars. Let the others catch him. Those 4 pars, perhaps easier said than done. 1, not bad. Just while you're away, John Robson duly tapped in for his par at this 15th hole. Andrew Coulthard played his second to 16 and came up in the rough, quite a way short. And see from a perfect drive, Colin Montgomery into the bunker, playing 3, and he's not going to win. Made their heads off now. Well, the best he can do is a 5, and he's just experiencing one of those days where golf can be the most humbling of games. Well, Riley's still in there fighting. And Colin Montgomery is one of, if not the best player in the world, and the conditions have just been too tough. I think only professionals will be out still playing in these conditions. Robson at 16. Good looking swing this. Chunky 5'9". That's not a bad combination for these sort of conditions. A solid base. You don't get blown around too much by the wind. He's still enjoying it. That really is so good to see. Different expectations are. John Robson will be delighted still to be very much in contention at this stage. Colin Montgomery will be livid that he hasn't got the tournament wrapped up. Three under. 4 behind. Six over for the day. I see Riley must have dropped a shot at 14. He's 4 behind as well. Derek Cooper and John Robson sharing second place. Andrew Coulthard with a few problems at 16. At the moment it's looking very good for Stephen Ames. There's Coulthard. He's played 3. He was about 30-40 yards short on the left-hand side. This to save his par. Remember, this is the man who started with a 77, and then rounds of 67 and 68. He's had a couple of top 10 besides that performance in Singapore. He's won the Australian PGA, the Scottish PGA tournament, but never on the European Tour. Great finish to last year with Sam Torrance and Colin Montgomery in the Alfred Dunhill. Scotland won for the first time. He's got this one as well. Nicely done. He has a chance, believe me. Out in 35, just a couple of bogeys, 2 birdies, 2 more pars, and you wait to see what happens to those that come behind. Nick Faldo, not going to be his day. Yeah! Thank you so much. I think the pros will go away from a day like this saying, well, it was a little bit of a lottery. You can but do your best. If you score 80 on a day like this, it doesn't make you a bad golfer, far from it. If you score 70, it makes you a very good golfer. And that Stephen Ames has a chance to do just that. There may be a crock of gold waiting for him. His wife, Jodie, used to caddy for him. Again, nicely played. That will surely do for the 3. And it's getting to the stage where if he can just make pars, then it's going to be awfully difficult for people to make the birdies to catch him. fairway wood, maybe a forward for Robson.
Hello.
It's away to the right. But it's not bad. Again, he's chipping into that wind. That wind is just moving all the time. I think it's gone from southeasterly, it's almost southerly and getting round to southwesterly. All the time. Blowing so strongly. Riley then for a 2 at 15. He of course had a share of third place in the Johnny Walker at the start of the season, being the joint third round leader. Derek Cooper punching that one as low as he could, 40-50 yards, maybe 60 short, down into those hollows. See Wayne Riley a little closer than Stephen Ames, but opting to putt out, as he's perfectly entitled to do. This is why I play the pacer players being so slow. When we just walk up and you just tap that in, you can't afford to take it that lightly today. There's Emir. This is Montgomery in the gallery. Monty would have been doing this one from home in Oxfordshire in Surrey. Just having to wait. Three holes to go for Stephen Ames. That is a very tidy car. The double bogey he had at the second. He's recovered well from that at the short par 3. Third shot. This could be a very expensive hole for Derek Cooper. May not have been lying that well. Now look at 17. And Ross Drummond quite a way back, having played his second across the water to the left-hand fairway. Wind against and off the left, and that may just run down into the, almost good, and it's a long way from the hole now, down into that hollow. Now Robson third shot at 16. Two people moving behind. He takes the hat off for the shots. Maybe because it would blow off and keeps it on in between. It's the spectator. Yeah, it's you, sir. All right, thanks. Just wanted to keep still, not move out of the way. Now, can you see all right now? All right, well, I'll get on with the shot now if it's all right. I hope the guy who was moving applauded. On goes the hat, keep the heat in. Bunkers all down the left-hand side, but you have to start it down that side and let the wind bring it back, and that's okay. That's good, in fact. As the wind starts to turn around this hole of 467 yards, which was just a drive and a flick for some of the players earlier in the week, becomes a much different proposition. So Ames leading by 2 from Cooper, and Cooper with problems though at 16. And John Robson, an 8-footer for his part at 16. It's looking very good for Stephen Ames at the moment, but you wouldn't take anything for granted in these conditions. But he leads by 2 from Cooper and from Robson. And Derek Cooper sharing second place, but best he can hope for is a 5 here at 16. And you saw Ross Drummond roll down into the hollow, and there's the result. He's still got quite a bit to do to save his part. Cooper then for the bogey 5 at 16. No, the wind just got up and almost pushing it back towards him. Double bogey back to 3 under. It could be so expensive. Difference between second and third place is £34,000. The chirpy barrel boy type of customer talking away. No airs or graces. Well done again. I love seeing the more supporters arriving all the time from Essex. The Essex boy done good. Super round. 2 more. Who knows? Can't believe it, can he? Wind, what wind? So Stephen Ames will have heard the roar back on the fairway. Jackets off. Sort this one out behind the bike sheds. Mentioned Ewan Murray yesterday, and one of the things Ewan does is he's the president of Manning's Heath Golf Club, and they open a second 18 tomorrow, I believe, with a pro-am. Hope that goes well, and it's not quite so breezy down there in Sussex.
Right, I guess it'll be all right. What do you think? Do you think so?
209, you said?
Yeah.
209, and that will be to the pin. Wind certainly off the left, and
Hold up.
maybe helping still just a fraction. He's not sure. If he's going to be a little bit wrong, he's probably better to be long than short. And I would imagine that's 1 club more. may have been one less, in which case it was the wrong decision. But at least he's on the fairway. He's got a clear view up to the pin. Ruffson, hand off, tee shot 17. He would like to be close to that water on the left, and the water though is off the left, so middle of the fairway will do. Nicely played, nicely controlled, low. Will run on a little as well. He can't get up in two, surely. No, he can't. It's just impossible in this wind, so he now has the option of a fairly comfortable shot across the water and play it in from the left-hand fairway. You can see the water's dividing the fairway. You can play it up the left, you can play up the right. Right-hand side hasn't had too many customers today. All the gallery there as well with Coulthard and Faldo as they play up the left-hand side at the 17th. Just the Bledlow Ridge in the background and the China clay works and the smoke almost horizontal coming out of the chimney. Bledlow Ridge should provide a little bit of protection from this wind. It hasn't really happened. Coulthard, third shot. And that might get a kick, a little bit unlucky, a harder kick. It could have been quite close. Look out towards the Chilterns across the Vale of Aylesbury, the market town of Tame, just a couple of miles down the road. Come out, turn left in the M40 motorway, again just a mile or two away. You can be in London in 30 minutes or so and back in Birmingham in about an hour. So the wind behind probably rather less than that. Irani decided to go in and he's hooked that, trying to hit it into the wind. He just, not quite a snap hook, but not that far away. Now Faldo, I don't believe this is his third shot. I think he's playing four. There's a story for Nick. All fell apart at 8 and 9. 5 shots gone in the space of 2 holes. And really the bogeys at 11 and 12 incidental, and obviously the putt that he holed the last hole was to save par, not for a birdie. But if Coulthard can get up and down for par here and maybe finish with a 3 at the last. You wouldn't wish disaster on Stephen Ames, far from it, but the potential for disaster is very real over these closing holes. Just turned 26. The Thornhill Club in Scotland, though he's based these days in Richmond, close to Heathrow Airport. Modern professional golfer, on and off of jet planes most of the time. Ames then third shot at 16. Just a shot with a hand, really just punch it in, keep it under the wind as much as you can, even for this short range shot. Again, he's played it so well. Robson's second shot. He's turned that a little bit left. Now there's some bunkers up there as well. Pothole bunkers all the way up. And he's okay, not ideal. And one thing he didn't want to do was come off the shot, and he's going left to right. Might have been towards the water. Harley's played his third shot. Putt to save par. Oh, we've had some late finishes on the European Tour this year. 36 holes each of the last two Sundays in Bergamo and Madrid. Only 18 today. Probably feels like 36 to most of the competitors. So another shot goes for Wayne Riley. He's now playing for place money. Not to be sniffed at, but the 6 at 14 in the end he's undoing. Drove into the sand, never really recovered. This man, one putt nearer real glory. And what his check was for winning in Lyon, but it would have been no more than 40,000-50,000 pounds. Confidently done. 2 holes to go. The lead still 2. So it's been a terrific back 9 for Stephen Ames. Not the best of starts with a double bogey at the second, but well, as the pressure's mounted, he's managed to keep calm. He's almost there. Walk away from 16 up the slope and down and back. The 17th tee back there in the corner.
Right. Yeah, well, I need to know sort of 44 the Broadway. Yeah. It's on the 6th, is it?
6th and 7th. Double header.
Yeah. Good one.
He's lying okay.
If you get if they turn up and it goes through, then you get the birdie. You still got to go on, haven't you?
Well, unless they don't fancy losing it.
Yeah.
So there's a fascinating conversation going on. A legal case or something. Back to the golf. Robson just once again to punch this one in. Bunkers on the left-hand side, but if he just starts it on, you can see that cut of semi-rough in the fairway down there, and if the wind brings it back, all well and good.
They give you your job back.
They won't give him that. The tribunal could decide.
Yeah, they could say.
And they will say no.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
So one of the first things I say is you haven't informed me on the appeal, an official hearing. So I've always given them of course.
Quite a ways back, probably 120, 130 yards still to go. Actually, maybe a little bit longer, closer to 150.
No. I mean, I can't see them turning up, really. I mean,
Punching that one in, doesn't want it to go away to the right. That's okay.
I mean, hopefully it won't.
And stop, and it's on the same level.
You don't have that.
Maybe would have hoped to have been a little closer, but I think at this stage you take 2 pars and take your chance, and believe me, John Robson would be absolutely delighted with second place. And it would be a great achievement. Cooper coming across the edge of the water. It's similar to the position Ross Drummond was in, and expectations no more than 2 putts from there. Would be a real bonus if it were to go in. 1 or 2 bits of blue sky, but angry clouds across this part of England.
No, it's sudden death, isn't it?
Let's take a look at the leader on the 17th. 2 more drives to go for Stephen Ames. And he starts out a little bit down the left-hand side. He's just a bit anxious, but the wind should bring it back, and that's okay. Again, so solid, like the short game. The long game looks in good order now. He'll just turn 60 degrees to the left and across the water, depending how much he wants to cut off. But he doesn't need to do anything too fancy now. Only likewise down the left-hand side. It's a long carry to the water, and just as well.
Top short? Yeah.
So the gunner is making their way towards these closing 2 holes. Yeah, Mark Robson will be with you next week for all 4 days of the Volvo PGA. Then Warren Humphries back in the bunker for the Deutsche Bank from Hamburg. Again, all 4 days coverage on this channel in a couple of weeks' time. Well, that time we took a break, don't you think? Welcome back to the Oxfordshire closing stages of the B&H International Open. Looking good for Stephen Ames. This is the man in second place at the moment, John Robson. His birdie attempt at 17, pulling up 4 or 5 feet short, but he's been very solid on these putts so far this weekend. While you're away, Derek Cooper rolled his birdie attempt up to about 2 or 3 feet, and Ross Drummond finished with a round of 75 to lead in the clubhouse at 1 under. So the 39-year-old Scot in line for a handsome payday. Remember, Ames in perfect position, other side of the pond, getting ready to play a second shot. And again, Robson holds out. Well, surely a par at the last will do for no worse than second. And when your biggest check has been £12,000, the chances of getting your hands on just under 78,000, dream come true. Christmas Day, New Year's Day. Cold enough to be New Year's Day. And Cooper's made a good living out of the game of golf, but funds a little bit depleted by an indifferent injury hit start to the season, and it should be boosted by this week's effort. Yeah, par. Back on 17 there, waiting to get across the water. Here's Ames with an iron, not taking any chance, just for the heart of the fairway.
Oh, he's doing the ducks, look.
Oh, he's hit it into the water. I don't believe he's hit it into the water. He's made the mistake that maybe we thought he wouldn't, and he's going to be playing 4 now with virtually the same shot still to play. And I wonder if John Robson, as he walked to the 18th, whether he had a backward glance just to see. Well, we did say disaster was lurking on this course, and we've had scores up to 13 on this 17th. Podrick Harrington on Friday. And he just hit that one fat. He was a long way short of clearing the pond. So, leader by 2, playing 4 at 17. That looks a better strike. Now he's probably going to be a little bit overcompensated, maybe up the other side. No, that's okay. And why didn't he do that first time, he'd be thinking. Play 4 on 5. It could be a 7. It could be Robson and Ames fighting out. We could have a playoff. Could be here for hours.
Check it.
Still with his hat on. This is a long hole today, 445 yards up the hill, and the wind not helping, that's for sure. If anything, against, and maybe off the right hand side. Dogleg from left to right, bunkers all up the right hand side. I wonder if he knows what's happening behind. That low. Now will the wind take it away from that nest of bunkers? No, it won't. Now if he's far enough back, he may still be able to get on in 2, although the pin cut on the top tier of the green. I don't think they're aware of what's happened to Ames. Riley, who was a little left off the tees, come up the right hand side. First customer we've seen for this side of the course, or this side of the hole. And he's got a fearsome shot, long iron still, to get home in 3. Into the wind, and he needs to nail this one. No, just unlucky, skips into the bunker. The line's okay, should be able to get up and down for a par. They've been out there for over 4 hours now. Coulthard slipping away. This is for a round of 75 again, which is no disgrace, but I just thought he had a little chance maybe of sneaking in and getting into the clubhouse at 4 or 5 under. Still, overall, it's been a good week for Andrew Coulthard, but there was the problem. The 7 at 17. He must have gone into the water. We didn't really see how he did it, but finishing with 3 drop shots, and how expensive was that? 2 pars, 4 under, and he might have been in the playoff, you never know. Well, 5th shot for Stephen Ames.
You were by me, weren't you, in the crowd? Yeah, and it made him back because he arched his back.
They may get a little bit lucky with the kick. That was quite a sensible shot, but the odds still on a double bogey and 5 under.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a great picture, but they didn't use one, they used something else. The front on, front on view.
I've worked out the conversation. I think they're photographers, that's why they're talking about tribunals and appearances here and there. Great photos that they may have taken. Jim Robson, he's far enough back, and the lie looks to be okay. And he's got about, I would figure, with the pin quite a way back, maybe 180 yards to the flag, into the wind. So may need a 3-iron if he can get a 3-iron to it and get it up in time to not worry about the face of the bunker. Difficult to work out the wind. It is moving round all the time. Ironic, a wind from the southeast in a couple of months' time will be bringing a heat wave across from Eastern Europe. As the hat comes off, I doubt John Robson feels that he has a chance of winning. I don't believe he knows what's happened to Stephen Ames, nor has he made any point of trying to find out. He thinks he has a real chance of second place if he can make a par here. Not opening the stance, going straight at it. Into sand again. Well, he still has a chance to get up and down. They're so good out of the bunkers, and they didn't plug. The lie looks okay. Meanwhile, Ames playing 6 back at 17. Helping that on its way. Is it quite a quick one? He would want to be closer. He'd been so solid from that length, but that was before. He put his ball in the water and now has to face the prospect of throwing this tournament away. Two-shot lead about to disappear. And that shot into the water you can only put down to the pressure they hit there. Thousands of those shots. The lie was perfect. Rally for his part. To 1 under. And an expensive run, and one more. There's a couple of mine in there actually as well. Frustrating. If he misses this, Robson leads. Oh, well done. Well done, but it's still a 7. And the lead is shared. Now he needs a par at 18, and people just started to talk about playoffs. Oh, he's furious with it. He's keeping the smile there, but that's sort of held in place by the wind. He's furious. Why, oh why, oh why? All he had to do was just pop it over the water. So Robson has to get this close now. If he can get his par first, you would make him slight favourite. The longest bunker shot as well. Oh, don't spin, oh no. ready to acclaim the shot now. He'll do well to get down into. Okay, the drama still to come. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be back in a minute. Oh, the picture tells its own story. John Robson with about a 40-foot putt at the 18th, the Oxfordshire, to save his par, and who knows, it may be to win B&H International Open. He shares the lead with Stephen Ames, who's back on the 18th tee. Must at the very least just get this close. Mustn't three putt. He's giving it a chance. He's giving it a go. It was a brave effort. Now he's got a tricky one back, but all credit to the young man. He didn't hold back. I didn't say young man, 28-year-old, but this is Stephen Ames coming off that double bogey at 17, throwing away the two-shot lead. Good swing. He's kept it on the fairway, so you never know. Par at the last may be good enough. Well, it will be good enough. I haven't seen too much of Ian Woosnam and Colin Montgomery in the last match. They've rather slipped out of the picture. Now, of course, Derek Cooper not quite out of the equation yet. If he were to make this 4 under, he'd be tied with Robson, and Ames would lead by 1. Got a line on it from Robson's putt. And he's going to settle for a round of 74, hopefully, and 3 under. Still could well be worth 3rd place if it's on his own. That's over nearly £44,000. Robson then for a round of 73 to lead in the clubhouse at 4 under, and to leave Stephen Ames needing a par at this 18th hole to win. If he stayed down as it raced past the hole, he will have an idea of the line. The wind is behind, shouldn't be too much of a factor. It's an amphitheatre stadium course, and Stephen Ames can see what's happening from back on the fairway. From just about see the top of John Robson's gleaming head. Downhill. Quite slick. He's got it. Oh, well done. Take that, he says. And that's been a terrific weekend for John Robson. You would have expected him to maybe slide away. He's guaranteed his best ever finish as a pro. He was tied 4th in last year's Portuguese Open at worst. He will finish no worse than 2nd, you have to say, in this tournament. Round of 73, and it may be even better. Been an excellent week too for Derek Cooper. Injury problems behind him. Solid finish of 74 today, just ruined really by that 6 at 16. And Robson will go and check his card and just wait. The recorder sent Carmel will be up there ready to check the card, and he'll just be looking down on the 18th, and I'm sure he'll be looking out of the window. I'm wondering just what will Stephen Ames do? Well, he's hit perfect drive, but he's a long way back. Best part of 200 yards. Wind, you can see it's switched around almost 180 degrees now, off the right and against. Pin way back, top of the green. Looked a good swing, I think he likes it. Is it long enough? No, it's not bad, it's solid, and 2 putts from there to win. You may have a glance or two at the leaderboards as he makes his way up at 18. Well, he had his hopes and aspirations. There's the situation. You can see that Woosnam and Montgomery not on that leaderboard, so I suspect we won't stay to see the finish of their round, but it's between Robson and it's between Ames. Montgomery way back 9 over par today now. Looks as if he won't break 80. Ian Woosnam 9 over also. Sam Torrance and Richard Boxall getting themselves virtually into the top 10. Nick Faldo suffered as well. It was a round of 80 for Faldo, 4 over, began at 4 under. You can just see how tough the scores were. Rolf Muntz of Holland had a 73, which did him no harm at all. Seve, who won 2 years ago. But everywhere you look, horror stories. Mark Farry with a round of 80. Tough day to be a professional on the European Tour. But someone has to win. As the jacket comes off, could be this man, Stephen Ames. 32-year-old. Born in San Fernando, in Trinidad, and the last train to San Fernando is about to arrive, maybe. It's a player for Miss My Plane. He will know now. He'll know that 2 shots to win, 2 putts for glory. 2 putts for over £116,000. Comes from a golfing family. Stephen's granny was the women's champion of Trinidad 20 times. Came off the Hogan Tour to the European Tour via the qualifying school in 1992. And a good first year, 49th in the money list, and then 58th in 94 when he won the Open V. 33, his only win so far. Slipped a little last year, only 77th with just the 1 top 10 finish. That was in the Coventry British Masters. So I think it would be fair to say this will be a surprise win. It's Ames or Robson, it's a major surprise. This is the man who has the chance to win it right now. It's short. It's short. If he misses that, it's a playoff. holes 10 and 18. Riley's still playing for big money. But this very much the undercard to the main issue. Probably learned from Ames, but you can see it was a swinging putt as well. Very difficult to make yourself hit it far enough up the right hand side to get really close. And Riley sensibly is going to putt out. He wants to try and make this, which, as I say, is for an awful lot of money. And now, when you can't win, the money becomes important. He wants to get out of the way before Ames has his putt for the tournament. Because if Ames were to make it, there'd be so much noise and cheering that it would be very difficult for Riley to concentrate. So he's going to get out of the way and get it missed quickly. That it looks as if it could be a little bit better at one stage for Wayne Riley. In the end of 77, and you can see 5 shots going in the final 5 holes, and he finishes level par. So at the end of 4 cold, windswept days, does it boil down to this one putt? Stephen Ames to win the 26th B&H International Open. He's got it. He's got it. He's done it. He's won £116,000, his second title on the European Tour. There will be no playoff despite the 7. Stephen Ames with a level par 72 proved good enough, and by 1 shot he beats John Robson. But both men have played so bravely. Robson will be disappointed not to have a playoff, not to have a chance, but deep down he'll be delighted to have secured second place and to have won a cheque for more than 6 times more than he's ever won before. And there Jodie used to be caddying, her first winter caddy. She doesn't carry the bag these days, but she's delighted. And Stephen Ames is the winner of the 1996 International Open. Hold the front page on the Trinidad and Tobago Times. What a story. Stephen Ames, you wouldn't have expected it. He wins by 1 from John Robson. Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope our paths will cross again soon. As I say, Mark Robson with you next week for the Volvo PGA, and Warren Humphries back in the commentary box for all 4 days of the Deutsche Bank. But until then, from me, Steve Beddoe, from the Oxfordshire, hope you've enjoyed it. See you soon. Cheerio.
The PGA European Tour was brought to you by Volvo.